Mike, this was just a bad week if you're a Philadelphia or a local sports fan. We had the Phillies lose to the Yankees in the World Series.
Correct, sir.
Then we go into Saturday, and Ohio State, Penn State. Penn State doesn't show up for the game, gets pushed all around. And then the Eagles, with a game they should have won against the Dallas Cowboys. It was there for the taking. And Andy Reid, poor play clock, poor everything. Game decision. Just don't give him a flag to throw. He should not be allowed to challenge any more plays.
Take his flag away.
Just take the flag away from the guy. He's got his hand. I'm like, no, Andy, no. And somebody up above should be fired for telling him to throw the flag. But anyhow, bad week. My friend Randy Rodney Hess went to Ohio State and also to the Eagles. Don't go to any more games, guys. You guys are jinxes.
Tough weekend.
That's not a shout-out. That's a warning.
This game, the Eagles game reminded me a little bit, not to the same degree, but it reminded me a little bit of the Penn State game in that I thought Dallas's defensive front killed the Eagles' offensive front. And again, when that happens again, lots of things. That's sort of the big picture look at the game. Starkey, I think you have some things to question in the sort of small picture of the game.
You know,
break it down for us, big
very
fella.
beginning of the game, the Eagles threw like 20-some plays. They're throwing the ball when Dallas knew that they weren't going to be using Westbrook. They were looking for the throw so much, and only did the Eagles go away from the throw to the running game when their throwing game wasn't there. Why not go with a balanced offense? How many weeks do we have to talk about this? Especially after a loss, when Andy Reid does not go balanced again. McCoy ran the ball very well. Leonard Weaver has been running the ball very well. It started working during the game, and they started looking better during the game when they did run the ball.
Yeah, I thought I didn't watch it as closely as perhaps I should have, because I sort of felt like that was my reaction. They are running the ball, and it's going pretty well. I mean, so.
And early on, it was all these throws.
Okay.
Dallas was prepared for it. Only did they go to it after the passing game wasn't working, and Macklin was smacking balls off his hands for interceptions. Okay, later in the game, 3rd down, 4th down, they're running quarterback sneaks because you now have a fullback. Last year I could see it, but they didn't have a fullback. Leonard Weaver is a good fullback who's been averaging 4.4 yards a carry.
There you go.
And they don't give it to him.
Go tell it on the mountain, Starkey.
First, Andy Reid throws a challenge flag to challenge a play on where the spot was. It wasn't a good spot, I didn't believe, but still, you have a good enough running game. If you don't, there's a problem there. They challenge it, don't get the challenge, lose a timeout. He does it again later in the game and loses again. That was on the quarterback sneaking in like the spot. Does it again. Hey, Andy, it wasn't working.
And then you're out of timeouts and you're down 7 and you kick a field goal, which means you're going to have to score another touchdown, which means you're going to need timeouts at the end, even if it goes the way you want it to go.
And it wasn't even a chip shot. This was a 52-yarder. He made it. Good for him.
God bless him.
But here, let me give you a stat. In the last Eagles are 1-8-1 in their last 10 games decided by 6 points or less.
And I think it's a lot of these issues. I think Andy Reid is a good coach in terms of building a program. We've talked about the fact that the Eagles, he's done a good job of turning their roster over and getting them younger while not having to sacrifice like a 3-13 season in order to get there. He does a lot of things well, which is why they've been consistent winners since he's been the coach. But this little stuff, this sort of small picture stuff, game management, time management, on-the-fly decision-making, that shows up in close games. And that shows up in that number, 1-8-1. Very, very telling number.
It seems like the Eagles have these two issues come up every year. One, there's one game a year where they don't come to play. Usually it's before a bye week. This time it was going out to Oakland. They weren't ready.
Sure.
They used to have at least one game where the time management, timeouts, stupid challenges come into play. Last year was Chicago, Giants a little bit. This time Dallas. This was a winnable game at home. Now they have a tough stretch. They go to San Diego, got to go to Chicago.
Yeah, 4 of their next 5 are on the road, I believe.
Look out, Eagles fans.